basically the approach is that if someone is learning how to speak, that person is supposed to first of all learn how to construct his grammar, then has the ability to freely flow and express his ideas. Then through that, the person can now decide whether he wants to imitate the British or the American accent, right? Because you already have the basis. It's just like when you give birth to a baby, right? The baby has difficulties in expressing, right? So even if they would say mama, they say mama, right? Sometimes it's not so clear, right? But we get to understand what they're saying, and we encourage them to make the effort to speak, right? So making the effort to speak is there. Then from there they improve. Unfortunately, what I've observed in Vietnam is that, first of all, they are not getting their grammar correct, and they want to use very complicated English words, right? Instead of sticking to the simple, basic English words that you can easily explain, they want to use grammar that they don't understand, right? Because they want to impress. Honestly, I don't know who they want to impress, but at the end of the day, the meaning that you derive from the conversation and the grammar sentences and the sound and everything gets clamped up, right? Because it's supposed to flow naturally. If someone is flowing naturally, believe you me, you would have a lot of people like us. We always help our kids to improve. They might not all have the same vocabulary, or they might not have the ability to express themselves in the same way. But when the person is making effort to feel natural, you'd know. And when someone is reciting from
someone just want to show off, and they speak so fast, and then but they cannot convey their message clearly.
Exactly. That's the point. So
that's the point.
That's what happened, and I can understand why it all happened that way. As I said, it is the mind. Okay. I can give you a lot of examples. Like, I installed a software that I always analyze. The software has native speakers. So you pick, like in America, you have about 4 people, right? And you give them a word to pronounce. And all these 4 people have slight changes in the way they sound. So, yes, the bottom line is for you to understand, because there are some people who put a lot of stress in their words, right? Of course, the IPA has a format. That is why the IPA is the received English, right? It is the format that everyone is supposed to comply with. But the reality of the fact is that naturally, you meet so many different people, and based on where they were located or the kind of group or the associations that they had, their interaction is a little bit different. So their reaction to some of the words and even some of the meanings that they have is very, very, very interesting, right? Okay. So it's all good. As I said, first is to try to understand the English very well. Then you would improve on your pronunciation.